Spain just won the World Cup. Second star on the jersey. 100,000 fans screaming inside the stadium. And yet, the moment everyone's still talking about didn't happen during the match at all. It happened after the final whistle. Because seconds after Spain lifted their heads in celebration, players from both teams were suddenly grabbing each other by the throat. Coaches were sprinting onto the pitch to pull people apart. And FIFA, the same organization that just handed out the trophy, opened an official investigation into their own championship match. So what actually happened? And why did the biggest victory in Spanish football history turn into a brawl within seconds? Let's break it down. If you don't follow football closely, you might assume a World Cup final just ends with hugs, tears, and a trophy lift. And most of the time, that's exactly how it goes. But this one was different. Spain beat Argentina 1-0 in extra time to win their second World Cup title, following their first triumph back in 2010. That alone is a massive story. Argentina came in as the defending champions from 2022, with Lionel Messi chasing one more piece of history. Spain took that dream away from him in the cruelest way possible. A goal in the 106th minute, deep into extra time, when legs were tired and nerves were shot. But instead of the story ending there, that's exactly where it got complicated. Here's the sequence of events, because it happened fast. The moment referee Slavko Vincic blew the final whistle, Spain's substitutes and staff sprinted onto the field to celebrate their second World Cup win. That part is completely normal. You see it every tournament. Benches empty. Players pile on top of each other. It's pure joy. But this time, joy on one side collided head-on with heartbreak on the other. Argentina's Nahuel Molina extended his arm to block Spain's captain Rodri, who then turned and confronted him, and that one moment lit the fuse. Within seconds, Argentina's Leandro Paredes appeared to grab Spain's García by the throat, and other players started shoving and tripping each other to the ground. When Spain's teenage star Gavi tried to jump in and break it up, Paredes reportedly pushed him down as well. Think about that for a second. Gavi is one of the brightest young players in the world, barely into his 20s, and he's getting shoved to the turf in the middle of a title celebration. This wasn't handbags. This was real anger boiling over in real time. And it wasn't just players. Argentina's own head coach, Lionel Scaloni, had to run onto the pitch himself to try to break up the fighting. Picture that image. A manager who just watched his team lose the biggest game of their careers, now physically pulling his own players away from brawl live on a global broadcast in front of millions of people. Now here's where it gets even more interesting from a football rules perspective. Initial reports actually suggested Paredes had been sent off with a red card for his role in the incident. But FIFA later confirmed that no disciplinary action was taken by the referee during the match itself. That's a huge detail. Under normal circumstances, grabbing an opponent by the throat is an automatic red card. No discussion needed. But because it happened after the final whistle, in that chaotic no-man's land between match and celebration, it fell into a gray area the referee simply didn't act on in the moment. That's exactly why FIFA stepped in the next day. FIFA's disciplinary committee announced it had appointed a disciplinary and ethics prosecutor specifically to investigate potential breaches of FIFA's disciplinary code tied to the post-match incidents. In plain English, the game may have ended, but the consequences might not have. Analysts pointed to Molina and Paredes as the likely primary instigators, and noted that a deliberate collision like Molina's hit on Rodri would typically draw a 3-game ban if it had happened during actual play. Since Argentina's World Cup run is already over, any ban would likely carry into future international matches, meaning this brawl could have consequences that follow these players for months. Now here's some context that makes this whole situation even richer. This isn't the first time Argentina has found themselves under FIFA's microscope after a final. Back in 2022, after Argentina beat France on penalties in Qatar, FIFA opened a disciplinary case against the Argentine Football Association over how players celebrated in the media zone, even citing goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez for how he handled his Golden Glove trophy on the field. So there's actually a pattern here worth noting. Big Argentina moments tend to come with big FIFA paperwork afterward. And here's a detail that says everything about the contrast and reactions that day. While chaos broke out around him, BBC pundit Joe Hart pointed out that Lionel Messi was the one man on the pitch who showed real class, going around and shaking hands with every single Spanish player, saying the game was over and Argentina had no complaints to make. Messi, the man who arguably had the most to be devastated about, was the calmest person on the entire field. That single image, Messi shaking hands amid a brawl, tells you almost everything you need to know about why he's regarded the way he is, even in defeat. One more wrinkle for the conspiracy-minded among you. This actually wasn't even first scuffle FIFA's broadcast feed seemed to miss during this tournament. During the England versus Mexico round of 16 match, both benches emptied in a similar flashpoint earlier in the competition. So tempers running hot wasn't unique to the final. It had been simmering under the surface of this World Cup for weeks. You might be thinking, okay, it's just some pushing and shoving. Why does it matter? Here's why. A World Cup final isn't just a football match. It's the single most watched sporting event on the planet. Every gesture, every reaction, every second of it gets replayed for years. What happens in those final moments becomes part of football history forever, right alongside the goals themselves. When FIFA opens a formal investigation into a final, it sends a message. No matter how big the stage, no matter who you are, accountability still applies. It also raises a real question about how football handles emotion at the highest level, because these are human beings experiencing the most intense highs and lows of their careers in the exact same 60 seconds. Understanding moments like this isn't just juicy drama. It's a window into psychology of elite competition and into how the sport's governing body tries to protect its own image while still being fair to the players caught in the heat of the moment. So yes, Spain are World Cup champions for the second time in their history, and Ferran Torres will be remembered forever for that extra time winner. But this final will also be remembered for what happened after the whistle blew. A brawl, a throat grab, a manager sprinting onto the pitch. And now, a full FIFA investigation into the very match that was supposed to be the crowning celebration of the entire tournament. It's proof that in football, the story almost never ends with a final score. If you want to see exactly how FIFA's investigation plays out, including whether any bans actually get handed down, make sure you're subscribed, because I'll be covering the follow-up the moment there's an update. And if you learn something new about how football's disciplinary system actually works, drop a like and let me know down in the comments which moment shocked you the most.